You know, President Trump recently signed an executive order ending the policy of separating children from their parents at the border. A federal judge in San Diego ruled this week those children must be reunited with their parents within 30 days. And work is underway to provide places for those families to stay while their immigration cases proceed. In Washington, the House on Wednesday overwhelmingly voted down a broad immigration bill negotiated by moderate and conservative Republicans. Congress adjourned Thursday for its July 4th recess. It now appears no legislative action on immigration will happen before the November elections. And joining us to talk about all these issues and their impact on all of us here is Ted Bergh. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Charities of Southwestern Ohio. Thanks for being here. I guess I should first ask, how is Catholic Charities involved in immigration?
Well, Catholic Charities has been operating the refugee resettlement program through the Department of State and the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops for 40 years, and we've resettled over 12,000 refugees in that time.
Wow. And
we also started the Su Casa Hispanic Center in 2000. Well, we started operating it in 2005, and that works with migrants from Central American and Central American countries who are here in the region.
So let's talk about this current crisis. Are there any children that you know of that have been separated from their parents who have been brought here?
There's one situation that we're aware of, and that was a child was crossing the border with her grandmother, and her mother lived here in the Cincinnati region, and they were separated. The grandmother was quickly deported, and the mother came to us and said, "Can you help me find my child?" And there were some directions from immigration that said, "This is what you should do." And as far as I know, the mother has located the child. I don't know that they're reconnected yet, but we did help that parent find her child.
Okay, so you don't know if they're reunited, but you were able to locate that child, which this is quite a mess. Is there a better way to put it? As far as all kids are here, parents are here, grandparents are there. Do we have a clear understanding of where these children are?
Not that I know of. But there's a situation that affects us more locally, and that is that individuals are being detained and being held for long periods of time, and those are parents. So children are without their parents locally, not because they've crossed the border, but because they lived here and been separated. And in northern Ohio, near Sandusky and near Canton, there were raids where 100 parents were taken from or 100 people were taken, some of them were parents, from a landscaper and a meatpacking plant. So those children are without parents now.
So they're seriously taken into custody.
Yes.
And assumably they would tell whoever takes them into custody, hey, I've left 3 children at home today, or whatever. But
those children are left in school or daycare.
And no one comes to
pick them up.
Eventually, where do those kids end up? Help me with this.
Well, we help parents form plans where they have guardianship papers for children in case they don't come home from work.
Oh, do?
Yes, we help parents go ahead and plan and do those kinds of things so their children are cared for.
But do they even know to come to Catholic Charities to
say?
Yes,
we've been going out and doing public presentations to groups.
I'm sorry, if the children are then separated, would the children know, you guys need to call Catholic Charities, or no?
That would have to be the parents would have had made arrangements with the schools or their kid care providers.
Oh, okay. So then they would tell the daycare or whatever, if something happens to me,
if I don't come, call my sister, call my neighbor.
Is it putting a lot of strain on you all? Do you have the resources you need? Surely not.
We've seen about a 20% increase in the volume of people we see. People come to us and ask, we provide emergency assistance, not so much that we provide financial needs, but we guide people through the system. We have a lawyer and a couple other legal professionals on staff.
That's one lawyer?
We have one lawyer.
That's for how many cases?
Well, so far in the last 2 years, we've done this for 2 years, we've taken on about 300 cases, and we've referred out about another 300 people.
Wow.
We take the needier cases and the ones that we can do and have an immediate influence.
When we talk about what has been happening at the border over the last several weeks now, the separation of these families, and I was asking you before we started here, I don't recall as an American in my lifetime something like this happening within our borders.
No. And the U.S. bishops have been appealing for decades, for at least 20 years, to have comprehensive immigration reform, because it's a hugely complicated system, and there has to be a better way. The nation has every right to protect its borders and control immigration, but the system that we have doesn't work.
In fact, we were talking about a woman that I know who's spent about $30,000 in about 10 years trying to become legally, trying to do this legally, working through the system, to become a U.S. citizen. She's not making a lot of money to be spending that kind of money.
Yes. That's not unheard of.
And that's not unusual.
No.
Okay, so as we look forward, we just said immigration reform likely not to happen before the midterms in November, and then I guess we'll just have to see what happens then. What is your hope? What should we be hoping for here?
Well, we do the work that we do because everybody has human dignity. We believe everybody's made in the image of God and has human dignity, and we ask that there be a dignified solution, and the family is a core part of that. Families are sacred, and so that families shouldn't be separated. So hopefully that some kind of a bipartisan effort, can happen so that this particular extreme doesn't continue.
And for those quickly who are watching who might need help or know someone who needs help, what should they do?
They should contact Catholic Charities, ccswoh.org, find us on the web, or you can find us in a directory and call and refer those individuals to us.
You'll do whatever you can, right?
Yes.
Well, bless you guys for doing what you do. We thank you so much. Thank you for being with us and taking that time, Mr. Bergh.